Record. Alright. This is a hard one. 50yz over 24 x to the 4th, y to the 5th, and z to the 9th. Alright, again, we always start off with breaking down the 50 and the 24. Top, bottom, okay? Because what you want to do is have it in fraction form when you're at the bottom, okay? So, what goes into both of these? Oh, a 2. 2 and 25, 2 and 12. Alright? So, what goes into 25 and 12? Well, nothing, right? So we're done. Okay? So I've got 25 over 12. No big deal so far. Okay, and now I've got no x's and 4 x's. So 0 from 4 is 4. Then I have 1y and 5y. So 1 from 5 is 4. And then I have 1z from 9z leaves me 8. Okay, so now what? Well, this is still under the radical sign. So now I got to break it down. And so when I break it down, I take out my pairs, right? So there's 2 5s in the 25, right? So you break down 25, and you got 5 and 5, 5 and 1, and you got your pair. So you've got a 5 here. What do you got on the bottom? Well, 12 can be broken down with a 2, and a 6, and a 2, and a 3, and a 3, and a 1, and you're done, right? So you pull out the 2 2s for 1 outside the box, but it's leaving a 3 inside the box. And then my x's, I got 4 of them. 2 goes into 4 how many times? Because the 2's here goes into the 4 twice. So let me move this over a little bit. Square root of 3. Okay? How many times does 2 go into 4? Oh, twice. How many times does 2 go into 8? Oh, 4 times. Okay? So, it looks like we're done, but we're not done. Okay? We have a radical in the bottom. We can't have a radical in the bottom, so we have to get rid of it. Alright? So, again, I said this earlier, and I want to emphasize it again. So, remember I said 1 over the square root of 2. And if we were to square a square root, it gets rid of it. So we square it, but what we got to do to the bottom, we got to do to the top. So we square it, and we get equals to 1/2. And you go, well, does it or does it not? And you're like, I don't know what the square root of 2 is. Okay, well, let's use something we know to figure out something we don't know. Okay, so how about 1 over the square root of 4? Because I know that the square root of 4 is what? Square root of 4 is 2. Simple, right? So, this equals 1 over 2, right? So let's see if it equals it when I square it like this. So, if I square this and I square this, then what happens? This becomes 1 and this becomes 4. Does this equal? No. So it's a rule I cannot use. I can't just square it. But I got to do something that's like squaring it. Okay? And what's like squaring it is multiplying it by itself. Because that's the definition of a square, right? It's just itself times itself. So we multiply it by itself, but what we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top, right? And so when we do that, this 1 times the square root of 2 is the square root of 2. Okay? And when we do it to the bottom, it's square root of 2 times square root of 2, which is square root of 4, which is 2. Okay? So when we do that to this one to double check it, just double check it real quick. 1 over the square root of 4 equals 1 over 2, right? So 1 over the square root of 4 times the square root of 4 times the square root of 4. And what does that equal? Well, that equals the square root of 4 over 4, right? Well, that doesn't look like 1/2. But is it 1/2? What's the square root of 4? 2 over 4, which is 1 over 2. And yes, they are the same. Okay? So this does work. Okay? So now, let's make it work here. Square root of 3 and the square root of 3. That gets rid of your square root on the bottom. So what we are left with is 5 square roots of 3 all over. And remember, this makes a 3 times a 2, which is 6 x squared, y squared, z to the 4th. Ta-da! Alright, that's a good one.